Second World War veteran who was arrested in the 1970s for being gay. Morning to you, George.
Good morning.
So, thank you for joining us. Firstly, do take us
back. One little correction, I'm 94.
94? I beg your pardon, they missed your birthday. I can't believe that. Now, take us back to 1974, if you would, George. What happened?
Well, in those days, if you were gay, and you ran a business, which I did, you had to live a lie. You had to be a good actor. You let no one whatsoever know you were gay. You only ever mixed with other gay people.
So you'd have to be really careful.
That's right, which I was.
So how on earth did you go out and meet other gay men? I mean, did you have special clubs?
There were gay bars around, and right. Occasionally you go to London, and to save your sanity, and to know that you're not the only one. That's what you had to do. But I had one ambition, and that was to be accepted. So the only way to do that, when I was 37, was to find a lovely lady, which I did, who she knew all about me, and she knew I was gay, and she said she'd help me, and she did help me, and she married me, and she was a wonderful wife. She gave me 3 children, and to all intents purpose, we were a very happily married couple. So that's the only way I stayed out in the closet.
Really? So, bless her heart, I've got some gay friends I'd marry tomorrow, actually. They're absolutely lovely people. So you had to live a lie to be able to just live in the community. What was the treatment by police like then? Because I think many of us may have seen the film of Quentin Crisp and so on and so forth, but what was it like then for people who were gay?
Well, the police were extremely homophobic, and they were urged on by the Home Secretary of the time to crack down on us and eliminate us and catch us and criminalise us, which they did with me.
So what happened with you? How did they catch you, and what happened?
If you are like me, you want to meet other people that are you want to know that you're not the only one, and the only place to go was the local gents' toilet. There was never anybody in there but other gay men. Everybody else went all over the place to toilet, and they didn't go there. And I was very careful. I knew how dangerous it was, but I still went. Foolishly, I still went. I went into one of the locked cubicles and locked the door and sat down and read little writings on the wall. And I'll quote you one of them. It said, "My mother made me a homosexual." And underneath, some bright guy had written, "If I gave her the wool, would she make me one?" So if you're gay, you read something like that, and you read all sorts of little messages on the wall, you know with great confidence that you're not the only one.
Yep, absolutely. What do you feel like when you hear about homophobic attacks happening now, whether they're physical or verbal? How does it make you feel?
Well, I'm surprised that they're still happening. We've come an enormously long way. And I think that those that must be doing it are quite young teenagers. Isn't that right?
Well, I'm not sure as to who they were, but I agree with you. But surely you would think that young teenagers nowadays wouldn't even think of anything about being gay. I mean, I just don't get it, really. I mean, there's the gay pride marches. It's just so acceptable nowadays. I find it difficult.
Well, I think what I'm trying to do, might help. What I must say is that New South Wales and New Zealand have passed a law where they have decriminalised totally and apologised for the laws on homosexuality. I think this government was in the process of doing it. I'm very proud to say I have met and am friends with Mr. Corbyn and the Speaker of the House of Commons. They both assure me that it will happen, and it'll take time until the Parliament come back, and then we shall get it. We shall get an apology from the whole Assembly of the House of Commons, including a posthumous apology, which I want. Going back, no one ever mentions him. A great man, a wonderful Englishman, Oscar Wilde.
Yep.
He went to prison for 2 years. No one ever mentions him.
No, they don't.
Why don't we get posthumous apology for him and Alan Turing. They gave him a pardon. What's that for? You don't want a pardon if you didn't do anything wrong.
That's
Montague, Pitt Rivers and Wildblood, they all went to prison.
Yep.
On a posthumous apology for all those.
It was of its time, wasn't it? And thank goodness we think we've moved on until we hear about these homophobic abuse like this. Finally, can I ask you something? As someone who served in the military, can I just ask you what you think of President Trump's decision to say he's going to stop members of the transgender community serving in the military in any way, shape or form? What do you make of that?
Ridiculous. Just crazy. I had heard about it, yes. And I thought, how stupid.
Because if you're willing to fight for your country, you're willing to fight for your country. George, I thank you so much for talking to us. George Montague, Second World War veteran, was arrested in the 1970s for being gay, 94 years old. Fantastic, George. Thank you so much for that. Kieran Brady joins me now.
George, how do you feel?
I feel proud. And I feel proud that I've got a partner who helps me in every way.
Okay.
To further my campaign for even more acceptance.
Okay.
A time when being gay was illegal, I find it really difficult. Well, perhaps you lived through it. What was it like? Well, it's 50 years since a new law was brought in which stopped men being prosecuted for same-sex relationships. But does Essex still have a problem with homophobia?
You're listening to Sadie 9. Call 200
minutes past 7. I just wondered, do you remember a time when being gay was a criminal offence? Maybe you knew someone who was arrested. 0300 200 40 41. Well, today marks 50 years since the Sexual Offences Act came into force in England and Wales. It decriminalised male homosexuality between consenting adults, but only if they're over the age of 21. But just this week, 2 women in Colchester had homophobic abuse shouted at them when they were shopping in Greenstead. So are we now more tolerant? Or does homophobia still exist here in Essex? Hard to believe, really, isn't it? Well, 93-year-old is a Second World War veteran who was arrested in the 1970s for being gay. Morning to you, George.
Good morning.
So, pardon, they missed your birthday, I can't.
If you were gay, let no one whatsoever know you were gay. And to know that you're not